First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
On 1st and 10, Bowden over the middle, complete. It's Roth. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. From the gun, Bowden. He's got the tight end, Sternberger. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 2nd down, it's Jackson. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
And that's a run that will energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
They'll go with Murphy here on first down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
On the draw, it's Jackson. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. The starters defensively now for the Falcons. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're going ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, you better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnist write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here we go. 18 Gator. We want it. Come on.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 17 yards to pick up there.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. And here are the Falcon offensive starters.
An offensive line play is not something that comes to mind readily, but it's always a big key in a ball game. And already these guys, they're getting it done up front, as we've seen this rushing attack have some early success.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
You ain't got nothing.
Operating from the gun. Green looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 31-yard line.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? To throw on 2nd down. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 16. Well, Charles, in the past, a lot of people called this offense one-dimensional.
I think you did.
Well,
I think it was you.
I'll be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right, because we did have that discussion that what we've seen in the past from them, they needed to broaden, and they have done it here. Look at what he's bringing to their offense, and now as a defensive coordinator, you've got some extra work to do to prepare for him and their offense.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. They'll find Taylor. That's complete. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first. He was able to escape the pocket and get out of bounds. You like the decision-making?
I love the decision-making, and I love the execution because you just know that his eyes were darting all over the place. You know, they talk about keeping your head on a swivel, looking for the danger spots where the hits are going to come.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. From 3 yards out, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Tackles.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Come on, set. 60 Pittsburgh. Rush in. 5.
Only 2 there on the dump off. It's 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 3rd down, Bowden. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A shotgun handoff to Murphy. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This is intercepted. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Watch his flat.
To throw is Green. Throwing on 1st down. Jones has it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there at 22. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
To throw on 2nd down. Green escaping the pressure right. And he's going to keep it here. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Green operating from the gun. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, Bowden. Looking for Murphy, and he finds him complete. No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Bowden. And that will be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Green down. From the gun, he'll throw. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Now Green looking to throw on 2nd down. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Green. Oh, it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley. Picked off near the 44. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the 1st down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. On 2nd down, it's Murphy. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's an Eagles 1st down on a gain of 11.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throw left side complete. That's Roth. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Go, go! 60 or.
Second and 4.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back here. Let's go.
Looking to throw on second down. Bowden making the catch is Sternberger. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 14.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
The Eagles into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. To throw on second down. Bowden, throw to the right. He's got the tight end here, Sternberger. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
It's a gain of a yard. And it's third down.
They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates are going to check on it because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Bowden underneath into the hands of Sternberger. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Keanu Neal. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up going a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people want to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Green. He finds Taylor, complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
15 yards, first down Atlanta. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row, I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. He's got the first down inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. The Falcon passing game looking good on this drive as they get the first down. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
So we reach halftime here. We now proceed to the start of the second half. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Right there. Nice, sweetheart.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Looking to throw. Green got his man complete over the middle. That's Gardner. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside, not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the first. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
It was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
And here's Green on first down. He completes it to Jones. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 17 yards and a first down for Atlanta.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On first down, Sylvester. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Touchdown, defense.
He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a third down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Back to throw. Green. It's caught. Jones. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
They'll keep it on the ground. Sylvester. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
The gain of 5 that time gives them the conversion and makes it first and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
What we got? What we got? What we got?
Ready?
And he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage with a penalty flag down.
Offense.
This might push him back further. Usually see those guys out wide get called for holding on running plays. Here, a passing play.
Yeah, sometimes when you get this quick screen, bubble screen, anything where they're having to block for their fellow receiver, usually at the point of attack, and this time he got caught.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. On 2nd down, this is Jackson. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards will get him back to the original line of scrimmage, but now they're looking at 3rd and 10.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Bowden, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Mike 56, Mike 56.
They'll keep it on the ground. Sylvester. 20! And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 34.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so?
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. From 13 yards out, and the Falcons push further out in front. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening, but they found the opening and exploited it.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 24. So that drive, 4 plays, and the Falcons score to cap it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Throwing on 3rd and long. Bowden. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Now the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Watch it. 3.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get back.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year as his guys continue to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Looking left side, and he's got Sternberger. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Eagles on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, Bowden, over the middle, complete. It's Thornton. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 14 yards there and an Eagle 1st down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Throwing on 1st down. Bowden. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. The 1st down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Ready?
On the draw, here's Jackson. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. The tally there, minus 2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he fields it cleanly. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Atlanta now coming out on the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 12 yards is the pickup, good for a first down for the Falcons.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he's got some space here. 22 yards there, a first down.
I think the good offensive coordinators in the league now are looking at the fullback position and finding the right guys to hide in that spot and increase their passing game, as we just saw there. How about the run after catch? Racked him.
Well, yeah, whether it's a true fullback, a tight end, you put in the fullback spot, you know they're going to be tough to bring down if you can get them the football in the passing game. They'll run on first down. It's Green. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll keep it on the ground. Green. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Well, at that rate, picking up 3 yards a carry, you and I both know that doesn't cut it in this league and trying to get first downs unless you're playing 4-down football. Then that's a whole different situation, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do here. 3rd and 4, though, is still manageable.
On third down, it's Green. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On first down, Sylvester, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They all go buy them dinner, but after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse. How's
8 ounce.
that?
8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
We got to get the ball. D, get the ball right here. Let's get it.
And they take a knee.
A loss of 1 makes it 3rd and 14.
So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's